The Chicago Bears may have found the absolute perfect fit for our third round pick. And that pick is Kansas edge Austin Booker. He's had a lot of pre draft attention. He's had nearly a dozen top 30 visits. Those include Baltimore, the Washington Commanders, and now the Chicago Bears. What's up? This is Sean at Sports Talk Bears. We're building something special here. Please hit the subscribe button and join us here on draft night this coming Thursday. I'll be live for the draft, and I would love to interact with you all in real time, answer questions, post your comments. Should be a lot of fun. So let's get back to it. Booker's viewed as one of the biggest risers in this edge class. There's day two grades out there on the former Jayhawk pass rusher. He finished 2023 with 56 total tackles, 12 tackles for a loss, 9 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. And he projects as a situational pass rusher early, but with the potential to be a full-time defensive end in the league. Despite the 2024 NFL draft being nearly 1 week away at the time of his visit with the Bears still continue to do their homework. Kansas pass rusher Austin Booker, he came in for an official visit this past week, and this is really interesting. The Bears have now officially met with nearly all the top prospects at the defensive end position ahead of the draft, but they're trying to narrow down which player they'll target to play opposite Montez Sweat and Coach Flus's defense. What's interesting, though, is that all the guys besides Booker, they all project as first-round picks. Now, if we go the route of Rome Odunze, for example, at the 9, and we stay pat and we use our picks as is, we haven't really brought in officially anyone that would be a day 2 or day 3 pick at defensive end previously. That's where Booker comes in. He's projected to go in that area, so he might be the guy in that situation. And I'm trying not to project a bunch of trades, a bunch of different scenarios today. Consider this a meat and potatoes show. And there's one more interesting thing. Every single guy the Bears drafted last year came in for official visits. So as far as projections, I'm keeping my potential draftees to that benchmark. Why waste the time with guys that we haven't even met with at this point, right? So as far as size, I realize that's a huge metric for polls when selecting players. Booker, he measures quite favorably with arguably the top prospect, Dallas Turner out of Alabama. He actually compares more than favorably. He's 3 inches taller at 6'6". The weight is very comparable as Booker comes in at 240. That's just 3 pounds off of Turner. The most important typically with polls, as you know, is arm length. Booker is at 34 inches, and the difference is negligible with only an eighth of an inch difference. So arm length is one of the reasons I believe a possible trade back in drafting of a guy like Chop Robinson late in the first round. It's not likely. He has an arm length deficit at over 2 inches compared to Dallas Turner. Arm length deficit. Draft time is super funny. I never thought I'd hear a phrase like arm length deficit. Anyways, arm length with polls, that's a big factor. With only 1 year of college experience, though, there may not be a more high-risk, high-reward prospect in the 2024 NFL Draft, and I'm going to bring up this draft profile on OnTap Sports Net. It's just a fantastic source. Anytime I want good stats, good projections on college players, I usually go to them. So check this out for yourself. So high risk, high reward. What may be the most high risk, high reward player in this whole draft defensively? Let's talk about him. He has elite athleticism, elite length, sneaky power in a slightly smaller frame, but his length is great. That helped him rack up 9 sacks. That was 23rd amongst edge rushers in 2023. Man, I can't talk. And 34 run stops, and that put him 14th. We've been here before, though. Let's be fair. The Bears drafted Dominique Robinson a few years ago. Remember him? He was projected as an athletic, raw, underdeveloped edge who they thought could provide a spark as a pass rusher early on. So far, that didn't really work out. But Booker, he has a much higher chance of being that guy with the chance to become an every down player. Daniel Jeremiah, he said this on the Senior Bowl practice broadcast. Don't lay it at my feet. This is what Daniel Jeremiah said, but this is a big comparison. This is what he said. With his quick, active hands, he has a little Max Crosby to his game. When he came out of Eastern Michigan, Crosby, he bulked up as well when entering the NFL, and Booker must do the same. It's no easy task, but he has the frame to do it. And if you told me in 5 years he's the best pass rusher in this class, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. So I'm going to pull the story down and let's get a little more detail on him here. After starting his career at Minnesota, Booker, he transferred to Kansas in 2023, and he was named first team All Big 12. He redshirted at Minnesota in 2021, but he's a smart guy. While not seeing the field, he earned academic All Big 10 honors, and that cannot be a bad thing. He then hit the transfer portal. He chose Kansas, and that's where he had this explosion. 38 pressures, 9 sacks, awarded Big 12 Newcomer of the Year as well, first team honors, also being a finalist for Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year. He opted out of his bowl game, though. He did it to prepare for the draft. You'd think that's risky by red shirt sophomore with only a year of tape, but he made enough of an impression. He participated in the Reese's Senior Bowl. He got the invite for that. The Bears had a very large, impressive presence on the coaching staff at that game. I'm sure they got great read on him. I'm sure they spent time with him in practices. I'm sure they got to see how he functionally worked as part of the defensive line. And also they spent time in the film room with him. So the opportunities that we've had to be a huge part of that Senior Bowl game, that is always paid off for us. And I think this is no difference. And I think as far as skipping the Senior Bowl, skipping his bowl game to go to the Senior Bowl, he still got the invite. So it's obvious with only a year of tape that NFL officials were more than pleased with his performance. So let's go a little further. Let's go to the strengths listed by scouts. Twitchy athleticism, great edge speed, elite bend. His arms are long. They're 34 inches. That's a great thing. He needs to add a little weight, though. More on that shortly. But scouts say he has a well-proportioned frame that would make adding weight easy. He has great hands, especially for a raw prospect. A good arsenal of moves, most notably tight and quick spin move. He converts speed to power well into, quote, if he adds a little weight, watch out. He can be elite. That's from the article on ontapsports.net. The main issues with him, once again, the weight. He needs to add 15 to 20 pounds, more of a gap shooter than an edge setter in the run game. He struggles versus power, an issue that a little more weight could help with. Simply a stronger base is needed, I think. I'm reading that size over and over and over with Booker, that it's a concern from multiple sources. I really dislike the quibbling here. It's just not accurate. In this case, it's a silly reason not to draft a day 2 or 3 prospect. He's 2¼ inches taller than Jared Verse and 15 pounds lighter. Nothing that can't be handled in the gym, right? I mean, yeah, he needs to bulk up a bit, but isn't that an easy ask in the NFL training room? I mean, his length is just fantastic, and you can't coach that. You can't add to that. He's an inch taller than Turner, the same weight. His length more than fits into Pohl's parameters for a defensive end, and those parameters are quite stringent. He sticks to those quite religiously. That take of undersize, it just doesn't hold water in my book. I think we should ignore it. The real issue to raise, that's his experience. 505 career defensive snaps coming into the draft, but he's also an exciting player to consider when understanding the ceiling that he could eventually grow into. And we have elite defensive line coaching in our defensive coordinator, Eric Washington. He is one of the best in the game, if not the best. Booker will definitely be on our board on day 2 or even day 3 if this inexperience I'm talking about, if it causes him to drop a little further. To hear directly from Booker to CBS Sports while he was at the NFL Scouting Combine, you just got to embrace it. I have nothing but confidence in my game, and I feel like I've done a lot at the college level. I'm just learning new stuff from the NFL guys and learning stuff from the NFL coaches to do nothing but improve my game. He's got a great attitude. His visit with the Bears in Chicago, that likely helped answer a lot of these concerns. It also gave him the opportunity to learn more about Coach Flus's mindset as a coach, just soaking up what being a Bear could entail. And I think he could be a really nice pivot if Chicago opts to go offense in the first round on Thursday. The book on him is this, and then I'll close. He wins as a rusher with athleticism. He has the speed and the bend to be a big-time edge threat. He has long arms. He has flexibility. Those are main attributes, and he just flashes a ton on film. And with elite coaching from our own Eric Washington, he could be a day 2 pick that really pays off. And also, it allows us to get that elite wideout with our number 9 pick. I think he could be a fantastic choice on day 2 with our 3rd rounder or our 4th rounder. I'd also love them to use one of those picks on an offensive lineman. I think we're set up so well. You can argue one way that we need to trade and get more picks, but also, why not use that 2nd pick to get another blue chip prospect and then continue to build? We can even use a 2nd round pick for next year to kind of trade into more capital this year, because we have 2 lined up for next year. And that's the Carolina trade that just keeps on giving, right? You guys let me know what you think. I think Austin Booker is a sneaky, good choice at defensive end if we want to go ahead and fill that offensive need at receiver. And you guys are so loyal. I appreciate your time. And hey, join me for that live draft show on Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want to interact back and forth, and we can just chill out. You guys, thanks a lot. Bear down. I'll talk soon. See you.